alive in this first game.
He has to try to clutch up big with no shield already. He lands one shot, but it's not enough. In game one, the NA Central champions have just gone down.
This is not what they planned for. It's not what they prepared for. We spoke to Benno and he said we just need to, prepare ourselves mentally as best as possible. But no amount of mental preparation can prepare you for a shot like that, Taco.
King just came ready here today. Clearly riding off a little bit of momentum even from those matches yesterday. You get that Victory Royale, and what could feel better for the confidence? But Nalu, that's also going to be a big strike here. Ritual's out of this.
First and second place in the NA Central Finals this season are down and out in game one.
And here comes the third party coming in, Reet and Cooper. This is the team we thought would be a part of all these exchanges. A surprise third party from Nalu and Rainy, but they're gonna do a lot of the heavy lifting for Reet and Cooper. And I think they know that he's a solo, at least for now, so they're trying to put the pressure down. They're trying to at least get closer and closer to this elimination. It's not just about the points, it's about the Storm Surge as well.
Reed's definitely looking to chase this one down, but for Cooper, that's who I really got in the back of my mind. 2023, everyone wants to kind of rule that Grand Championship out from him, but the fact of the matter is, Cooper's here to prove there's a reason why he won back then, and he's still got what it takes.
Yeah, they're going to continue the hunt. We're seeing the effects of Latte landing. Nalu, even when you think you're worrying about the players in the POI who you're trying to fight, there's always potential for someone sitting up on them cliff tops to take shots inside. Thomas and Focus, they're in a scrap here south of Riptides.
Yeah, this one's gonna be tough. Even if you start off uncontested, doesn't mean it's gonna remain that way. Akira and Karama are trying to come over and crash the party, but Focus and Thomas, they got some early game shots. That's gonna help their early game surge, give them a little bit of freedom, but you can see that they instantly disengage off. They don't wanna fight this unless they absolutely have to. For Thomas, for Focus, it's about the little victories that they're looking to stretch into a mile.
For Thomas and Focus too, they just know how this one tends to play out. Triple contested is just not worth it. Somebody else is always going to come into the mix. So Sky scrambling around. Battlewood Boulevard has just not gone favorably at all for any of our major champions for EU and NA.
And it looks like it was Yomzo and Josh that played spoiler. Scroll and Sky, they have played their game so consistently. There's so much footage you can go and watch to anti-scrap them, and it looks like that's exactly what Yomzo and Josh have done.
It seems like they're pulling out an old playbook strategy, kind of a teeny strat, dropping everywhere along the map, but Gino and Pablo seems to have left Sandy, but for right reason. It looks like they've taken down both Kanata and Victor V, being one of the only teams standing at Sandy Strip. You can see they already have that elimination onto Victor V, putting Kanata in such a pickle. They slide in, they take him out and send him right back to the lobby.
One of those moments where you really want to make sure you don't overheat if you are in Victor V and Kanata's position, but we'll see just how that changes up in game two. Poyo and Peterbot rather take their time going fishing over at Squibbly Shores. It's been a bit more calm. We've seen so much action kind of hopping around the map, but Pete and Poyo, all they're really after is trying to see what else they can build.
And it's going to be a very pivotal game to see where Peterbot's mentality is at. We saw on day one, game one, he jumped into a fight too eagerly, got rattled a bit. It was the same story back last year in Leon at the Global Championships. Will he learn his lesson on the stage here today?
Alert from underneath. It doesn't look like it's gonna work. That's Kiduo and Werex. They get pushed out. Mini Pio and Fakun, they're gonna go ahead and take advantage and take control of all the pieces from underneath, forcing them further and further back into those tunnels, cutting off one of the only exits towards the top side of the map. And that's gonna make him make a decision here. Do we wanna continue to fight for the spot inside, or do you wanna try to travel through one of those tunnels?
Camping out the teleporter or the porta potty can lead to some positive eliminations for any other players that might be struggling, looking for an escape from contention elsewhere. But it's still a difficult situation because when you're in the tunnels, other teams are going to know it and they're going to wait for the moments that you start to leave.
Here at Frigid Fortress, you hear the crowd getting wild. Taco said it herself, go big or go home. And honestly, coming into this one, you know, I was like, they could win. I'm not sure if they're my top team to win, but after Vico said it on day one, I was a little nervous. You saw how he played on day one? That didn't look like he was nervous. Now they're here in Championship Sunday, uncontested. Let's see what they can do.
The key with this duo is we know individually they will have great solo performances. If they can piece things together and bring that synergy, it's going to be a scary sight for the lobby.
Well, Kira and Kurama, they didn't get what they were after. Trying to see if they get some elims onto Focus and Thomas over by Riptide, so they ventured back towards Battlewood Boulevard. And remember, Sky Scroll, that was a duo that helped out Akira and Kurama making it here in the first place, so it comes as no surprise that maybe some of those strategies might work against them here today.
Absolutely. That is always the risk when you're as successful as Sky and Scroll have been. Teamy looking for success of his own here.
Just kind of looking at the mini-map, wondering, where is Shark even at? It's almost like that Peter Box-esque situation where he's lurking by himself. Maybe he's just trying to get damage here. Not a full elimination, but he's going to get an opportunity here as he turns the corner. One shot onto Demus, and that's what you call a little success. You get the damage and you just keep it moving. Finally, we see where Shark was at, on top of the wonky land wheel. No surprise.
You absolutely take that exchange. For Demus and Dom, it's a pesky little fly on the wall situation. Shark will be more than chuffed with that 45 tag.
But I think it was a great way that Shark and Teeny split the responsibility of approach. You let Teeny do all the sneaking around, and you got the bird's eye view off that Surge Tower, so you know that you don't have to worry about actually being challenged right away from a third party. Minouri and Darkos, though, outskirts of the map. Liam and Jace, they had ample opportunity to showcase exactly what kind of fighting capabilities they were able to pull it out in yesterday's competition, but these are some big teams coming into play here on the global stage.
Yeah, these are two teams that we're going to be seeing interact with each other quite a bit today. Both of their destinies potentially tied hand in hand. For Liam and Jace in particular, this is going to be the toughest lobby he has ever played in. Hasn't played in a major final over an NA, but there is nothing more major than this summit.
I know we haven't seen the full map yet, but I don't like where that one's going. Up towards Wonky Land, up towards the mountain on the north, and this is where, if you're a team, Taco, I would imagine you're gonna have to start preparing for the end game and what's to come.
You think so, but for Yapko and Panzer, they're trying to see if they can shut out Nalu and Rainy from even making that approach. They want to see if they can try and utilize some of this early Storm tank, but if they can get the damage done, Rainy will be dropped the moment that he tries to go for the escape, so that's going to be the first elimination confirmed here. And for poor Nalu, despite having 2 elims himself, things just got too scrappy, and now he's just trying to see if he can outlast where Yapko and Panzer are.
And this is clearly a big part of Yapko and Panzer's strategy for today. You saw Panzer was playing aggressive towards Nalu earlier when he was in Latte Landing. This is more of the same from this duo. And I would not be surprised if this becomes a repetitive story between these two duos today.
I do like this decision from Yapko and Panzer to disengage. Zone is moving all the way towards the west. You can just stay in front of a lot of the teams. You can turn around and do exactly that, what he's doing. Backtracking, getting Surge, and just keeping it going in a progressive manner over towards the zone. But you got to be careful, because it's not only Nolly that you have to worry about, it's Cold and Rapid as well towards Painted Palms.
Problem there for Yapko and Panzer. I don't think they realized that Cold and Rapid were actually sneaking about, coming all the way down from 4 fields. Paradise Palms might be eaten up here shortly, but for Thomas, that early delay from Akira and Kurama over by Riptides has clearly impacted the way that they wanted to actually move around the map, and they are being held yet again by the same gentle mates. Akira and Kurama realize Focus is out. This is a solo. If we can get the additional points, all the better.
222 below the damage threshold. Exactly what I was thinking. You're going to need some damage to close that gap. A playmaker from Thomas, but Kurama shuts it down.
A big wake-up moment for Akira there. Very fortunate. Kurama did not lose his cool.
You just have to think that those initial shots from Thomas, they weren't warning shots. He was letting you know he meant business. The way that things have started to develop over towards Sandy Strip, a little bit of a slower move. Minouri and Darkos We're not trying to rattle the hornet's nest here, Chino and Pablo.
That's how we're starting today's highlight reel. It's going to be a fun 8 games, people. Sky and Stroll looking to begin that journey to recovery. Both players back in the game, both players looking to put themselves in the type of spot we've seen them in so often. Up on surge, good when it comes to their loot, trying to get some heals back, and a late rotation into the safe zone when needed.
Yeah, that's got to be a good heads-up play by Sky, not only to get his teammate back, but he able to get eliminations, but they're getting jumped on right now. 400 above. Troll's trying to answer the call underneath. He's going ahead and taking a little bit of height advantage, not trying to give up any advantages in a fight like this. They're the only 2 teams this far out of zone. You see the Fizz, they're going to use it to disengage, but Sky turns back, gets one knock, gets the elimination as well. That Siphon is going to keep him alive.
I mean, you said they got jumped on. They were the ones doing the jumping. Quickly regained control of that fight, and now sitting in another dominant position.
That was all just about the recovery point. We knew that they were going to need some form of a comeback after starting off shaky. And now you get the reboot, you get eliminations to go with it. A pure refresh that's going to allow them to make this dead side rotation later into the zone.
Fizz with the shockwave, they realize, hey, we've already stayed a ton of time in the zone, rightfully so. Sky had to get Scroll back into the game, so even though they're above the damage threshold, they want to try to minimize the amount of storm damage they're taking so it doesn't become a factor later on.
Jude showing up big time here between himself and Badil. Everybody's been seeing it out of Badil, that's for sure. So many solo clutches, but Jude, you gotta remember, he's willing to throw some shots too.
Chino and Pablo. Last we saw them, they were chasing down Kanata and Victor V, the NA West champ. Now we see him 500 above the damage threshold, positioned well inside of the zone. But now Stroll finds himself in a tough spot. Sky is down. He has to try to return the favor, and he's able to take down LB Works. But the pressure is not slowing down. Multiple teams and players firing off in this direction. But the blessing is here, Taco. Stroll drops the slap pizza, and he's healing up inside of the zone.
I thought they'd have a chance to do a deeper west side wraparound, but it seems like they try to just cut straight to the center of that next zone. Too much congestion has now led to more problems.
And he'll stay alive, Taco, but at what cost? He's lost his teammate, he's lost most of his builds, and he's not working with much as far as the heals go. Stroll is going to have to bring out a solo masterclass if he has any chance of getting serious points on the board here.
Cold and Rapid underneath. 96 above the damage threshold. We saw how messy it was at Fort Fields not too long ago. They have to rotate in from the eastern side, and great damage on Yapko and Panzer. They're immediately answering that Storm Surge question.
Problem now, though, is will Yapko and Panzer be able to even answer back, or will they just get lobbied? It's not just Rapid and Cold, it is the entire teams, all of them located on the south side of the map. And Yapko Panzer, they are down and out for the count. Free elimination there for Cold, and he's got to be feeling real nice about it. But now poor Liam, you hear the audio cue of these bodies being eliminated right in front of you, and yet you have to make that same rotate.
Fortunate enough that Cold and Rapid, they set their sights on that next zone. A long rotation they will have to make, but one that will be possible, especially if they can find the right timing. These guys ain't gonna worry about that though. Wow. Sitting in a pretty position to just take shots at whoever they please.
Get to see the other side of the coin though for what was happening. Yapko Panzer dealing with Biko Malabuka on top of Cold and Rapid. I mean, the ending was practically inevitable. Great shots from Biko Malabuka, and I know that he claimed nerves, but he also said to all of us when we happened to bump into him, I play best when I'm nervous.
Uh-oh, as we tune in to the Kings of NA, Peterbot is down, Pollo's alive. I'm not sure he's in a position he can even work for the revive. This zone is just eating him alive. The longer and longer he stays back there, he has to shockwave out now. Top 27, no placements in this game have been getting, and he's barely above the damage threshold. Pollo spotted out by multiple players towards the backside of zone. He has the farthest journey to go. Can he make it?
Pollo is no stranger to making magic happen on this stage. But here in game one, there is still so much top competition standing in between him and a good placement.
And Scroll's going to be one of those competitors, even representing as a solo. Reed, Cooper, will he be able to make it to their body loot? No, Pick's going to shut that one down. Unfortunately for Scroll, we'll have to close off the wall, and we get to even see where Reason and O'Reilly are trying to find some of their success. Cringe getting dropped, not realizing that that layer was already occupied.
The Germans are getting comfortable already in game one, and they're not going to stop. You see them moving towards the front side of things. They might even want to try and play hype this game if they really are feeling it. Regardless, Reason and Noah are here to play in this endgame.
Wow, Scroll in the feed gets another elimination on the Ozone. This is one great solo run from game one to start to kind of build that confidence. Tiggs at the top of the mountain, Saya, Scary's there as well. Poyo finds himself elevated but taking damage. Everybody's gonna have a rough time traveling through this zone. Drew and Video, 84 below. They're feeling the pressure as well. Shockwave's coming out, but Storm Surge is active. They need 127 damage, and they need it now. They can only take about 3 or more ticks, and it's gonna be Ju who makes the play, gets the shot, and gets him above.
They can also hope that just one more player goes down, because even at the just above threshold point, they still just don't have enough. These monumental moments where they need to show exactly how far they can take it. But Rapid, Cold, doing a great job controlling a little bit of a less occupied layer, and they're always looking to punish the backside of zone.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what approach do Rapid and Cold have to today's games. We saw a surprise hype play from them day one, game one, and now a surprise hype play from Poyo here as a solo, looking to just use this position to potentially find a refresh, someone whose box he can jump into and get a refresh. Reason has gone down, and Noah will quickly follow. The lobby is really starting to shake up here.
Through the fire and the flames, we carry on, because only one can be left standing at the end of the day. Vico, Malibuca, they're climbing up towards high ground as well. As soon as somebody realizes that Poyo is a solo, they're going to get the green light to go. Ju finds the elimination on the Minipio, but instantly it's taken down. Not able to really utilize the siphon. They're all trying to make it up, but there's a new king on high ground. Pump has made his way above.
But Scroll just sitting inside his own box. He's not had too many instances of catching that breath of relief. He'll utilize a lot of his heals, but now Cold and Rapid, a duo as strong as ever. They've been hanging out on that secondary height for a while here, but from the front side position, TD and Shark have decided height is theirs for the taking. Looking back now, they've already overcome.
Uncontested has never felt so good for Shark and Teeny. We know what they can do if somebody lands at their drop spot. Let's see what they can unleash here. They already have the high ground. Teeny, 4 eliminations, and immediately putting pressure down onto Gino and Pablo. That second height team, Acorns, being forced down. Everybody's being squished closer and closer together.
And you can see on the lower side of the table, Dom and Demus, they're trying to establish something that will give Shark and Teeny a run for their money in this game. It's about these two duos and everybody in between who will drop down or fall into this trap. Cold and Rapid, they need to be careful now. The pressure is being applied, and they can't handle this player right now. They need to get off of it, and Cold will do just that.
No other options but to forfeit on Hyde and Cold. It cost them everything. They're out of here. Scroll still has a solo. What business does he have in this lobby? 3 eliminations and so many placement points. He is racking up the count.
We are witnessing probably one of the greatest solo clutches of all time, but can it last? Shark and Teeny are finally dropping down. They know this game is so close to being finished, and they want to be the last one standing. Pressure on the Shadow and Virgo. Kurama and Akira, they find Scroll. They take him down. They end the legendary run.
They have been menaces since the start of this game, and they will look to continue that streak now. Demus and Dom, they have control, but then they lost it, and now they've regained it again. Shadow and Virgo sent back to the lobby, and Akira will fall as well.
Darman Demus just here to remind everyone who's actually in control when it comes to the low ground front side. Chino looking back. Chino takes out Dark just like that. Chino might be able to bring this one home, but still, as a solo, what's left?
Wasn't able to get any of the match, so he gets taken down from it. Shark, Teeny, the future is here! They take game 1 and put themselves on top!
It's everything that everyone has been waiting for, and the fact they came to deliver on the first game of finals, that's exactly what you'd hope for.
Everybody wondered if the young Shark would step up on the stage, and he absolutely will. What does he have to say about it all, Frankie?
Shark, your first VR in a grand final. How does it feel?
Normal.
It just feels like a normal debut. Teeny, I know you've experienced this before, but what's it like doing it with Shark?
It's amazing. It's easy.
It's amazing, it's easy. You got the timing exactly right as to when to take height. Was there a point you thought it maybe looked too messy?
No, it looked perfectly clean. The game was full on easy mode. We pulled every zone and yeah, just one game.
Did you get lucky though when the zone pulled down the mountain?
Yeah, we did. We got lucky with zones.
Do you need to get lucky again though in order to win more?
No.
Okay then, Shark, I'll just ask you one more thing. Is there anything you'd like to say to this crowd here in Düsseldorf?
We will win this.
You'll win this, okay. I think Düsseldorf heard you loud and clear. We're gonna head to a break. When we come back, game 2.